survey operation. They had an earthquake recently. Did quite a bit of damage to the area in general, and the steel mill in particular. We don't quite know the full extent yet. So, you just need to get in, find out, and get out. Nice and easy, right?
Okay. So, it's another Thursday, guys. Which means we are gonna build some roads. Mainly just to support the, what can we call, the local community. But in this case, we just arrived towards this city. Let's call it Sunken, because that's what the map is called. And not much has happened since then. I have basically just been sitting here in the car waiting for a week until, you guessed it, we met again. So today, apparently an earthquake has hit the town, and we are basically the first responders in order to help the community. So far I see two objectives. We need to reach this location over there, and we need to reach this one. I think that it might be good if we go for the one closest to, and I think we will. So let's do our best and see what exactly is happening in this town. Definitely looks like there's a lot of debris here. We might be able to push this one to the side. Just so we can go through. Okay. Let's go around.
Buckle up. Looks like fun times ahead. As exciting as surveying is, it's a little more than that. Who could have guessed, right? The company wants you to retrieve some valuable mining equipment.
Some valuable mining equipment. Alright. I don't see any mining equipment here. Well, let's go to the next location. Okay, at first sight, I would have thought this was a quarry, but it looks more like a factory. Apparently the earthquake did quite a number in this town. So, this is the steel mill territory, and we need to reach that location over there. Question is, can we go around, or shall we just... I think this might be a shortcut.
I have a whole menu of things for you to do. 1. Connect the tunnel exit base to the steel pipes facility. 2. Make some room at the port so we can get your gear shipped over. 3. Replace the gas tank at the concrete plant. You can find a replacement at the gas station. They have plenty, so they won't miss it.
So there were 3 things we should do. We should clear out the damaged containers around the port. Give the tunnel exit base access to the pipe production. And replace the damaged gas tank to start the plant. Let's have a look here. Okay, so we can move this one over there, and then we have access down here. Alright. I will go over there and see how exactly it looks. This situation looks a bit more dire than where we came from before, but nothing I don't think we cannot handle. Well, there's definitely a lot of debris on the ground here, which is good. We might need this steel later on. So I was too focused on looking straight ahead than what was right in front of me. So okay, let's use our bumper here to move this just like this, and let's have a little peek. Okay, I don't know what I expected. I expected maybe somewhere to get down there. Maybe we have to go. Yeah, this is actually not too bad. So we need to clear the area of objects. Alright. I suppose we are...
Let's clear up all the damaged containers at the port. How about trying that crane? I know you're not technically authorized to use it, but I won't tell anyone if you don't.
Okay. I definitely still hope that the insurance company also doesn't care too much about whether I'm authorized or not.
Now that's a cleanup. You must make your mother proud. The barge should have all the parts we need to put the water pump components together. Why don't you get those parts off the barge and we'll see what's what.
Well, I think it's a bit unnecessary for you to bring in my mother into this, Kelly, but for your information, yes, she is quite proud of me. I think. Alright. So, there's a lot of new objectives here. Unload. So let's have a look here. Draining the water shouldn't take too long, but first you need to unload the pump components from the barge using the port crane. After that, we're going to assemble them at the workshop and bring them to the mine to drain the water out once and for all. Let's continue the operation, shall we? Alright, so since we're already in the crane, we might as well. Alright, it's definitely as fast as I thought it would be. That was sarcasm, in case you're curious. Level 9, guys.
Gosh, you got those parts off without a hitch. Now we need not only a route, but also a road that takes us between the port and the workshop inside the concrete plant. Maybe you can use the nearest sand quarry for the first part of the road.
Okay, so this... We already unlocked the construction depot, which is quite nice. Okie dokie. So we need some of these service points in order to activate the sand quarry, which I would assume would become very much in handy later on. Especially if we need to build a road here. Alright. There's a flooded village over here. Okay, so this is a good way of us getting at least 6 of these service tokens. So we basically just need to build a route from the tunnel base down here into the steel pipes facility. And we're inside, so it needs to come from this side. Okay, that should definitely be doable. Okay, before we dispatch the vehicles here, I would like to do something about this area. It's gonna be a little bit of trouble. We might be able to actually take these, I think they're steel, put them on the semi, and then once we have the facility here up and running, we can just dump them into it. Since the semi should be able to hold both of them, I would assume. But before we can do that, we need a few vehicles. So we definitely need this one. Then we'll be needing this one will also be needed. I'll just park them here. And which one did we say? We said the semi. Yeah. There we go. Another question will be if our crane is strong enough to actually lift those. First of all, it's a rusty crane, and it's not as, what can I say, doesn't have that much torque to it, so it might be a small issue. Well, it does have a little fan there, so at least we are not overheating. I know that the crane is longer at the bottom, or the end rather than the rear, but let's toggle the angles first so we don't flip over. Then let's see if we can lift this one. Oh, that might be quite the issue. I think it might be too heavy, to be honest. Yeah. Good thing we had a plan B then.
Looks like we have a bit of a situation in the steel mill there. Well, more like a burst water pipe, but still. Find the damaged spot and patch it up. And while you're at it, see if you can lay out a route from our base to the steel beams facility.
Fair enough. Okay, so it looks like we do have power. And we are actually not that far from pumping this one in. Let's see if it's actually steel. It was. An entire 2 pipes. Quite nice. Oh, there's a lot of steel here. And she did mention something about a pipe. Yeah. So I assume that this is the beams facility. Okay. Let's talk about the essentials. We can't get much done without access to basic resources, right? So your mission is to get inside the steel mill and fix that broken pipeline. Once that's done, we need to restore the path leading to the steel beams facility. We all know the saying, a well-oiled machine runs smoothly. Well, that's exactly what we're aiming for. Well, does look like it needs some work before it's a well-oiled machine, but that's where we come in. So there's one pipe, and then there's the route. So let's have a look at the route. That should be pretty straightforward to begin with. So it needs to end there. What might actually be the best course of action? Have we unlocked bridges? Not yet. So that is out of the way. So we go up here, down here. around the bend. And yeah, this is definitely not an option. Going that way. I think, to be honest, this might be the best course of action. It involves a lot of sand. And we also, the pipe that we need to replace is here. So, first and foremost, are we within a quarry? We are. Great. I will try and get the semi over here so we might be able to put in all this stuff so it doesn't get in the way of artwork. Well, first of all, we need, I think, this is actually quite tricky, because I think we need to fill up the foundation here as much as we can, flatten it, keep filling so we get some height. So we basically go down and then through here, maybe we can get an even pass over to here. It will involve a lot of sand, but that's why we have a dump truck, right? All right, seems like we have our work cut out for us, so I will spare you guys all the details. Well, since we already have the 6 service token, let's activate this. And how big of an area? Okay. I would like to propose a proposal. That is that I just make some check-ins once in a while. Let's say that I set a timer for half an hour, and every half an hour I will show you guys around the working site so you guys can be like my superior. Evaluate my job, evaluate the work that I'm doing. And by doing that, it will save me a lot of storage, recording storage, and also it will be a lot faster to edit. So I will try this out, and if you don't like it, guys, let me know, and I will definitely not do it in the future. But for now, and also we can just dump these ones in so we can get some more pipes. And while I'm at it, I think I will take out one pipe and bring it over there, since I already need to do that. I need to replace the pipe, so just so it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time that I have to be driving forward and backwards all the time. There we go. All right, so half a year, not half a year, half an hour has passed, and this is what I've been doing so far. So let me just jump into photo mode here, and I can show you. So I started up with removing all the scrappable, like scrappable steel, we could say, from down here. I took the Voron and the mule and basically just parked it over here. I think there might be a square where we can deposit it. Also the big pipe is there with the two smaller pipes next to it. I did also replace the pipe over here. And then I've just been filling it so far with sand. It hasn't been that much sand. I think it's been 5 times 30 tons. So yeah, it is quite a bit of sand, but and also been gaining a little bit of elevation. This is just the first pour from this side all the way over here. Oh no, it's the second one, and then I took another one back here. So now I'll be starting a bit more. I think I will be starting where the first small dump of sand is, right over there, and I will slowly start getting it into this elevation, and then I will just keep on doing. I would like that it's somehow in the same elevation where we get down here. I don't know if that is possible, but we will see. I'll get back to you guys in half an hour. Alright everybody, time for our second checkup. Let me just show you now. So this is the progress so far. I don't know if it's changed that much since last time, but this is definitely how it looks. It's a very tedious project, and I don't know if it's worth it, but we'll find out in the end. I don't know if I'll continue this way all the way up because I don't want the slope, but so far it's a lot easier to use the dozer and can get it from a much more straight line, so that's at least something. I think next update it will be finished, so without further ado, I'll just continue where I left off. See you guys in half an hour. Alright, so half an hour has passed and it's time for the final update, because we have asphalt. The infrastructure route works. As you can see, the plant here has been restored, which is absolutely brilliant. And all the steel that we had before, I recycled it. We got 10 steel beams, and while I show you around, I will drop these off at the base. So oh yeah, and one more information. If you experience the same thing as I did earlier, I spent some time troubleshooting. I do know that they come out with a new like fuel update. I haven't really looked that much into it, but it's like a difficulty option where you can where there's fuel consumptions on the different vehicles. Now I don't know how to enable it. I think you will have to do it when you create a new game, but since this save file is before the update, I'm not sure. I think I might have to start over in order to get that, and I'm not really interested in that. But to return to topic, I did have an issue where whenever I tried to start the engine, it would just turn off immediately, like almost like there's no fuel. But there's not really any fuel indicators from what I can see. Well, we can see that there's something that might look like a tank. The first one to the right, the small dial there, gauge. But apparently what worked for me was you go into your garage and whatever vehicle you have deployed, you press retain and then you deploy it again, and then Bob's your uncle, problem solved. So just a PSA in case you need it. So I decided to put asphalt on anyway, just because this hill up here is quite steep. So as you can see, the mule here is kind of struggling, but it also have a lot of weight in the bed, so not really to judge too much on the mule. I also decided to put a bit of asphalt down here. Sand would have probably sufficed, but since I was already driving the paver up to pave the other pad, I might as well. Otherwise, nothing new has happened, except for countless amounts of tons of sand. So, yeah. Right now, I will just dump these into our storage here. So let's probably have a look at this one. Ooh, that looks a bit rough. But we do need to take this object and deliver it over here, which might seem a bit easier than what it actually is. But we get the object. Can we drive around here? I think so. Is there a lot of debris on the ground? It's a bit risky, but you know what? We can do it. Otherwise, we would have to start filling up this just in order to go around. But, and then since we are there, we might as well try and see if we can get the river base unlocked. Alright, so without further ado, I think we should jump into it. Well, that is definitely what I call a start to the mission we call Sunken. We've been doing a lot of stuff today. We have restored the steel pipes facility. Very nice. We even made it a bit nicer here for the drivers to drive over. Then we did some maintenance on the port, which was fun. I don't really like the controls on the cranes too much, but a good thing is we don't have to use them very often. We did also find a little toy truck that we will pick up once we get a better crane. What else did we do? We restored the steel beams facility, and then we did a whole project where we got to restore this pit, let's call it for what it is. We even replaced the pipe, and next week we will be moving down here, where we will be restoring some more road, so we can go up towards the gas station over there and pick up a parcel that needs to be delivered to, I think it was the concrete facility. But it's been an eventful day, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you're still watching at this moment, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I hope I will see you next time. But until then, I will see you in a week, and have a wonderful week, guys.